What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Patient Next Holistic Healing. Today's video, we're going to talk about the 48 laws of power. It's a few laws that I want to discuss relating to kingship and or queenship and being your own sovereign being. Things that you got to do, the things you might have to sacrifice. Let's talk about it. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Professor X. I will be your healing coach and spiritual teacher today. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The overarching law that we're going to discuss today is Law 34. Be your own sovereign being. Whereas the book says, be royal in your own fashion, right? A lot of people are stuck in a cycle of handing their power over to other people. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that. You know, for certain things, it makes sense to save yourself time and energy, especially if you're trying to come up in the world and you're not really at the position to delegate. You need to be handling stuff on your own. Stop handing over your power. I'm the type of dude, like, I'd rather do something myself so it gets done right. So that leads me to the underarching laws or the sub laws that I'm going to talk about, which will help you obey the 34th. Law 4, always say less than necessary. And Law 20, commit to nobody, right? Now, on first glance, reading the book, Law 20 specifically caught my eye. I'm like, I don't really like that, you know, because I like to have people around me. You know, I am an isolationist to a degree. I very much solo dolo, but I would like to have people who I could trust in. So I use my discernment to use these laws as I will. Take them for face value and definitely don't do what the book says. Like, this book is kind of predatory. It'll teach you how to take advantage of niggas, period. I'm not in the business of taking advantage. I'm in the business of bringing myself up and other people. This book will tell you that for you to come up, other people got to come down. And that's not true. But even so, I still believe in not committing to anyone to a degree, right? And my actions will show it. You know, mentally, verbally, I'm telling you, like, I don't really believe in that. But my actions will actually show that, especially because most people are not worth committing to anyway. For the special occasions, there are special people who you do need in your fold. But most people, they could go. So I want to give y'all some experiences in my life where I maybe had to cut people off or maybe not tell people my true intentions. You feel me? And they be hurt. Like, every time somebody's gonna get hurt, but you can't let that stop you from doing what you need to do. Especially if you're providing value to people. Like, if you're not providing value to people, then don't just be doing whatever to get ahead. But if you're providing value to people, you have the right to do what you want to do to get ahead because people are relying on you. So it's kind of a give and take. Some people be ungrateful after the fact and they thought you was gonna take them to the stars. So, you know, they might feel funny about it. And that's exactly what happened to me. It was a few times in the past 3 years where people tried to get me in their crew or put me on their team. And subconsciously, I be looking at that type of stuff and I scoff at it, but I play along. I don't ever reveal my intentions. I play like I'm on somebody's team. Whole time, I got the league. You feel me? I run the league. So that's the mentality that you got to have as a sovereign being. You are not on somebody else's team. And it shouldn't stop you from displaying good teamwork efforts. You feel me? You should always give everything 110%. I'll always move towards the common goal. But just know that I got my own subsidiary goal that's honestly not subsidiary. It's the main goal. Luckily, I have the luxury of being able to move like this in my life. I'm 21, so I can move however I want to. Some of you watching this video, you might be in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s with kids. You know, life, you got to do all of these things, and your life is a bunch of moving parts, and you can't just be making these type of sacrifices. And I'll make a whole separate video for you. Keep watching this one because I'm sure it's something that you can learn. But I'm going to move from a solo dolo type of standpoint. I don't have to commit to anybody. The only people who I'm committed to in this life right now is my future self, anybody that possibly matters to my future self, and then my current self, and then my family right now. You feel me? That's pretty much it. If you don't fall in those categories, I'm liable to move any kind of way around you. And not just any kind of way. I don't want to make it seem like I'm an asshole or something. I actually am very fair. I'm very just with people. And I'll explain that as we go on. Every situation that I get into, I always provide value. Matter of fact, every situation in the past 3 years where somebody tried to get me on their team, they wanted me on a team because I contribute a lot more than probably their whole team combined. It was times at work where I was doing more work in 4 hours, then another person was doing it 8 hours, maybe 2 days at work. So, you know, certain management is looking at me, certain higher ups is looking at me. Whole time I'm building the escape plan. They talking about, oh, we want you to move up. I'm like, yeah. Whole time I'm building the escape plan. I don't want to work at this job, but I don't let that stop me from being a team player and contributing to the team. This book will actually tell you that reputation is not everything, but it means a lot. And I do agree with that. Although you shouldn't care about reputation, you know, on some aesthetic stuff or some cosmetic stuff, you should care about it as far as political science, social science, and relating to other people. But don't let it get into your head too much, right? Now, I don't really reveal my intentions to other people. It was some people at that job, I would tell them maybe, oh yeah, I want to do this and that in life, but I would never tell them the complete goal. If I told somebody an actual goal that I had, it's probably because I already completed it, to be honest. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I already did it. So I know that sounds funny, but that's real. Mind you, I don't work at that job no more. I would be damned if I still worked there. I'm not gonna say where it was at, but I was definitely not committing to them. That was a stressful job for minimum wage. So let's move on to the next experience. It was a time. These next two experiences that I'm gonna tell you are very, very similar. So I'm gonna talk about them both at the same time instead of doing one at a time. It was related to music, right? Some of y'all know, if you watch my videos, you know I'm a musician and I'm quite good at what I do. Throughout the past few years, it's been people like, oh yeah, join my group or join my band. And I was always hesitant. I'd be like, yeah, you know, we could work together. But I would never say like, oh yeah, I'm a part of your group now. You know, that the words never came out of my mouth. Primarily, I would work with people because they maybe had an opportunity. Some people, you know, they had stage opportunities. I was able to get up on a stage and do certain type of work that I maybe would not have been able to do on my own. It was certain people, you know, they provided me an audience. So I worked with them. And like I told you, some people, they build fantasies in their mind. That's another law. Play to people's fantasies. I somewhat agree with that. Don't go too far though. You know, some people, they'll legitimately think that you're gonna go to the moon and back with them, and y'all just gonna be for lifers off of just first meeting them for the first day. Literally, some people are like that, and you gotta be careful of them, because those be the people that get upset at the end of the day when stuff doesn't work out that way. If it's one thing that's true, I'ma always be pleased by the end result. That's just the way I move in life. Even if I take a loss, like I still try and reframe it so that I learn something and gain value from it, so I'm pleased. But some people, they can't see it that way. They feel like they lost without you, and that's what happened, you feel me? After I got up on the stage with certain people, after I went and did my little runs with people, got in the studio, whatever, I peaced out, and I would peace out for months at a time and do my own thing, and people would see you doing your own thing, and so some of them don't like it. Some of them will support you, feel me? Some of the people I used to work with, and then I pieced out on them, they still support me to this day. But some of them, they truly don't like it. And that is what it is. They didn't fuck with me from the jump. And you gotta peep that about people. I didn't fuck with them from the jump neither. Matter of fact, if I'm gonna be real, there's probably only 2 people out of the probably like 20, 30 people who I've worked with in the past 3 years that I actually liked. Sometimes you gotta be around people who you don't like to get ahead. And I'm not telling you to compromise your values or anything like that. People is in there doing stuff that you don't align with. Don't do it. Like I said, these people will be in there smoking, drinking, you know, got females in the studio. Not me. I'm doing my own thing. I don't do that. I don't do any of that stuff. I had to learn a lot of lessons early on, y'all. Really. I really did have to learn a lot of hard lessons early on. Luckily, I survived. I'm here. You feel me? But it took some work. And that's why I'm very cautious when it comes to drugs, women, and partying. I got a video about that. Why I don't smoke, drink, and party. Go watch that. Link it right here. But back to the story. You know, the third and most recent experience when it came to music, this was with some people who I actually messed with, and we actually shared a good bond. We were friends. You feel me? I would even go as far to say that. But we moved really fast on a certain work that we were doing, and our hearts were not in it the way they should have been. You know, at least I know for a fact my heart was not as in it as it could have been, because I was more focused on my own stuff. And I'm glad that I didn't let my relationships with other people get in the way of my own sovereignty and my own work. Because after I got out of that situation, I literally started making some of the best work I've ever made in my life. I'm talking like phenomenal. Grammy. So I don't regret, dropping certain people off, or I don't even want to make it seem like I was in control, like I was just fucking people off. Like I just peaced out. I stopped messing with people, And if those people ever want to talk today, like I'm down, like we could still be friends. I don't mind that, but I'm not the person that needs validation from other people. I'm not the person that needs a surrounding group. I don't need an entourage. If we want to work on a common goal, that's very good. I'll work 110% on that goal. And this is how you should be. Feel me? While you're in the presence of people, show up 110%. When you're not in their presence, leave an air of unpredictability. That's how you make a name for yourself, in a sense. That's what the book preaches about as well. Like I said, certain things the book be trying to spit, I don't really fuck with. It's very predatory. But you can spin some of these things to grow. If I would have stayed, under people or in somebody else's fold, I would not be where I'm at today. I got my own platform, you feel me? I'm uploading constantly. I'm in school doing my own thing, you feel me? And matter of fact, I don't even make music the way I used to, you feel me? I'm on a whole other trajectory than I was. And if I would have told people back in the day that that's the trajectory I was on, I would have seemed less of value to them, I would have been less likely to receive certain benefits from them, especially in the music industry. People want to work with serious people. If I would have told them, oh yeah, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z, it don't have shit to do with music, they'd be like, oh, okay. Even if my work was good, I told niggas, I'm going to the top. The fuck? Niggas like that energy. They want to be around that whole time. You feel me? I'm on some whole other shit. And I didn't lie. I do want to be at the top, but you don't got to tell people at the top of what. That's saying less than you need to. And the top don't look the same to everybody either. The top to somebody else could be the top of the charts, $1 million plaque and all of this shit. The top to me, real life, is way more simple than that. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but it's very simple. I've grown a lot in the last 3 to 5 years. I literally went from being homeless all the way to having a job and being stable and being able to afford certain luxuries of life. This whole journey has taught me what's important. You feel me? A lot of people don't know what's really important in life. So if you told them the top of your goal anyway, they would be like, oh, okay, that's kind of lame. But they wouldn't tell you. They would just think it. Another reason you don't want to tell people the tip top of your goal is because if they think it's lame and then they start telling you, man, that's kind of lame, you should start boom, blah, 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 and you start listening, and you're in a big trouble. You're in a bad spot. You don't ever want to let people influence your own inner will like that. That's not what sovereign beings do. Sovereign beings move how they want to move and move just. Try and move as just and fair as possible at all times. Sovereign people try and lift people up. Every one of them people I work with, I lift them up. I gave them opportunities that was low-key way beyond the opportunities that they gave me. Except for maybe one person who really put me on. But we still had a very mutual relationship. I gave him, he gave me. Never pull up to a situation where you're providing less value and you're not really bringing nothing to the table thinking that you're just gonna pull up, eat off niggas, and then peace out. That's not it. Let me get close to the camera. That's not it. Don't be like that. Don't be one of them people. You feel me? If it's one thing that I learned in this world, leashes get stepped on and left behind. Some of them get lucky. They get to build a whole life off of being a leech. That is not true, and you shouldn't want to do that anyway. You should want to build your own shit. So with that being said, today we talked about being sovereign. Law 34, be royal in your own fashion. What you got going on does not always look like what somebody else has going on, and that's okay. It's exactly why you shouldn't tell people what you got going on. Let people guess, and it also goes vice versa. You don't know what somebody else got going on. Don't say nothing or think anything about them. Keep it face value with people. You don't need to pry all deep into people because time will tell. I got a whole other video planned about that based on certain people who they were in these situations and time told. Time told on them bad. And it validated me, it showed me why I shouldn't have even been involved with these people long term in the first place. Time will tell. Don't commit to the wrong people and always say less than you need to. I'm going to do more updates to this series because I think people are starting to like it. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, I'm going to leave it right here. Thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. If you have something to add to the conversation, please leave it down below in the comments. This is how we grow the community and reach each other's minds. My name is Professor X, and I want to thank y'all for watching Patient X Holistic Healing, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Much love and blessings.